Booked and Balanced.
Woohoo!
And out of the abyss, for the first time in a long time, here's Tom.
That's the Obis. Or Opus. Opus 1.
Whatever. Tom Hill's back, however you look at it.
Great to be back, everybody. How you doing? Been out on business, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. But now to our announcer with our guest and some information that you'll probably appreciate hearing.
Our underwriters are Ives Bank with multiple branches around Waterbury, Universal Copy from Naugatuck, the best place to get your copying done, Fidelity Finance Solutions, where you can get commercial loans. Also, most important, Tom Hill Realty and Investment, where you can get commercial properties, and Strike Zone Studio. All yours, Tom.
That's where we do our podcast, which we have 10 or 12 on TomHillRadio.com. So we got a few things coming up with that in the near future, too. We all here work for a living. This is volunteer television. And thanks to Al and Al for their assistance with this program. This is our 12th or 13th show, John, I think?
I think it's 13th.
And thank you very much for subbing the last 2 weeks. I'm hearing all good things about you, and I've heard that Channel 8 wants to recruit you.
Yeah, that's what they were saying, but Channel 3 is making me a better offer, so
Really?
I'm keeping them on the edge
All
there
right.
for a little while.
Keep your options open.
All right, introduce our guest.
Tonight's guest is Beth Lane from Booked and Balanced.
Hi, everybody.
Bookkeeper. And
And
do you have
She's a famous bookkeeper that I know. She's John's friend. She knows her stuff. She's very pleasant. She's all around town, and you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
well, I've been bookkeeping for well over 20 years, but I also have an operations background of well over 20 years. Please don't add those numbers together. And so that being in operations, that helps me help my clients a little bit more.
Oh, I thought you were a doctor in operations.
No, Tom. No playing doctor tonight. No. No.
You're a bookkeeping doctor.
I'm a bookkeeping doctor. That's a good one. I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. So I've been in a lot of different genres, and I have done both. I've done operations, I've done bookkeeping. And when COVID hit, I was working from home, and I decided I'm going to do this for myself from now on. And it became kind of a passion. My mother's laughing because I didn't like numbers when I was young. And it kind of grew from there.
A lot of people have that. If you look at all the colleges, they have to have remedial math for almost all the freshmen.
Yep.
And that was me, too. I went to Mattituck, and I couldn't do math at all, even though I thought I could. And they trained me. And then for my training, for my Certified Commercial Investment membership, I learned to use the HP12C, and I learned math all over again. Now I'm pretty good at it. But how did you, if your mother said you didn't like numbers, how did you get to be a bookkeeper and learn all the math skills?
I had a phenomenal teacher when I was at the performance shop down at Stanford, in one of my first kind of role as a bookkeeper and operations. And he was their accountant. And he came in, he took me under his wing, and he taught me QuickBooks, and it just blossomed
Clicked.
from there. Yeah, it just clicked. He actually told them that if I ever left there, he wanted me to come work for him.
Well, I can see why you're
So-
two friends, because he's really good. John,
Yeah.
our announcer, he's wicked good with math.
He
and if
is.
you want to learn about amortization schedules and loans, we have 2 podcasts on TomHillRadio.com from Strike Zone Studio that he knows his math. So, John, a little bit about how you learned math. So did you always have it, or did you pick it up later?
No, I think, I remember when I was young, my father used to be able to add and subtract real fast in his head. And I think it was something like genetic, it's passed on. And I always liked math and science, and were like my favorite subjects in school. Whereas English and history, I never seemed to care for
Gravitate
as much.
towards?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the analytical side was really where I was. They also said that I was very left brain, so that's more on the analytical side, more so on the
Really?
creative side.
Well, as long as you're not left politically, you can stay on this program.
Well, I guess,
Wow, that just took a turn, everybody.
no, I'm not left politically, I guarantee that.
We like everybody.
We like everybody.
We'll talk policies and procedures. All right, so you got another person calling in. He's a booking madman. What do you got at 710?
We got Justin Golden. He's calling in concerns with the Exchange Club. They're having a meeting or an awards ceremony next week sometime. I think he'll talk more about it and more informative than I can. But he should be calling in around 7:10.
Hey, and I heard Tom Schute's coming back from Florida to be the MC for that event.
I heard that too.
Yeah, so that should be fun. I got to check my calendar. He's going to tell me when it is because I hope I can go.
I think they wanted Tom Hill, but Tom Schutz took over.
No, that's fine. I went to people ask me about being an MC, and hey, you're really good at that. I said, I went to the Tom Schutz School of MCism. So,
MCism.
from where he took me under his wing early, and he couldn't do every job he had, so what he couldn't do one, he'd send me. 35 years with him at WATR was a joy. All right, John, so why don't you had some questions for Beth, so until we get our phone call, you're on, dude.
Okay. I got a question for you because this is something I've seen. A lot of small businesses, let me give you an example, like a restaurant or something, their bookkeeping is pretty much, they take in payments, they put them in a shoebox underneath the counter.
Write them on a napkin.
Then when they need, when they need to make a payment, they take some of the money out and they go
Right.
pay for whatever
Right.
it is, whether it's food or whatever the expense is.
Right.
And they really don't.
Categorize and keep track
Or
and
book it either.
organize. Yes.
Do you find that you see that happening a lot, and what kind of problems does that create for you?
Fortunately, I do have a restaurant in my client base, and they're very good about all of it. But there are people out there, businesses, who that doesn't. It works for them until it doesn't, because then they could go for a loan because they want to upgrade their kitchen or they want to buy new equipment to make new hats. And the bank will ask them, well, we need to see your P&L and your bank or your balance sheet. Sorry, and they have deer in the headlights. They don't know what that is, and they don't have one. And now we're so far behind because they've maybe never done any kind of accounting that to put that together for them in a timely manner would be quite an undertaking.
All right,
so it's very important.
Let's stop right there because you're talking about people that are early in the business and don't. First of all, what's a PL? What's a balance sheet? And what do they do and why do you need them?
A balance sheet is going to show your liabilities and your assets. So that kind of gives you like your any credit cards, your bank accounts. Those are all your liabilities. Your AR, your accounts receivable, your accounts payable. Your P&L will show you how much the business is making.
And that's profit and loss?
Yes, profit and loss. And it will show you where you're spending a lot in, say, office supplies. And last month, you were half that amount. Well, what changed? Did you have to buy a new printer? Did you have to buy something like that? So the P&L is something that the business owners should definitely look at monthly, if not biweekly.
And John, why do they need those if they're going to meet you for a loan?
I'm telling you, anytime they look at a loan for a business, they always check the P&L. They want to see if you're making money or you're losing money, or if there's a problem there. When does it occur? Does it occur frequently? Is it a random
one-off
occurrence?
right.
You know, did something bad happen? Can you explain it? Why was your expenses so high in this
Right.
month? Well, we had an oven broke or some type
We had a
of
huge
equipment broke.
repair, yep.
So we had to get it taken care of, and it was a one-time event.
Expenditures.
I think there's going to be a lot of questions on this program about accounting, bookkeeping, finances, being in your own business. You can ask us any business question. John owns his own business and loans a lot of money. Beth from Naugatuck, correct?
Correct.
Will keep your books in order or teach you if you need help. 203 is our phone number is 203-753-7593. Grass City Cable 753-7593. Feel free to call in early. There's no dumb questions.
No.
We'd love to help you and handle you today. How did you? Oh, go ahead, John.
Last week I told the viewers that if they call in, they usually have good fortune. They might win the lottery or something like that. So you may want to pass that along.
Hello, I'm going to call in now. I buy one every Tuesday, every Friday. I usually do a 2-draw. I only spend $1 on each week because I never win anyway. You get caught up into spending $5 or $10. What are your feelings on Lotto? Each one of you.
My husband plays at work. They have a pool.
Oh damn! We thought you were single.
Sorry, but I don't. I'm not. I don't partake, but he does.
John.
I only buy a ticket when the
When it's really big?
It's really big, yeah.
Okay.
If I'm going to win, I'm going to win it all.
I want to
you know
win it
what I'm
all. Right,
All
right.
All right, so I used to play more. It's just $1 Tuesday, $1 Friday.
not bad.
And it's a vacation home planning.
There you. I like it. All right.
I
There's
call
a
it
reason.
Aston car planning.
Aston
Oh,
Martin.
an
You
Aston
want an
Martin?
Aston Martin?
Okay, who's the most famous Aston Martin owner or driver in the world, I think?
James Bond.
Yes, they both got the answer.
Of course.
Whoa. I've seen some of those original Aston Martins at Lime Rock.
Beautiful.
Was on the PA there 13 years. It was a thrill, and the cars we saw were unbelievable. Then the other one was that green Mustang from Steve McQueen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you know your cars. Tell us a little about your car hobby.
It's not really. My dad was a mechanic, so I've been around cars my entire life.
Well, you're a book mechanic.
I am a book mechanic, you're right. And I've had a couple jobs. I was at a leasing company where we leased high-end and exotic cars.
Oh.
And then I worked for a performance company where I got to drive the high-end and exotic cars.
And where?
Down in Stanford. They're no longer.
Okay.
And I see
They
you worked
lost
on
me.
them a little bit too.
And I worked on them too.
There's a,
That is a
I got it.
69 Chevy Camaro SS that we redid for the client. We wasn't a full frame off, but it was close. And there was a connection that needed to be made in the motor block, and no one in the shop had hands small enough to get
get
the
in
screw
there.
attached. So I had to take all of my jewelry off and climb up on the car and put this little
Show all that
screw.
jewelry. You know,
Oh, I know. There's a lot. I'm afraid it's making too much noise because I
there's
talk
somebody
with my
outside
hands.
waiting to mug us when
Yeah, I
we're
know.
out of here.
I parked right in front. I'm good.
Security!
Security. So
She has a bodyguard
I
also waiting.
do have a bodyguard. So yeah, it was fun. They were like, "Can you help us?" And I'm like, "Sure. What do you need?" And usually it's, "Can you take a car and go get it? Go drop it off or something." Nope. They wanted me to climb up and put the screw on the little
And if
connection.
you could, would you, if you had extra funds and a garage, is there a car that you would buy these days? Or
Porsche.
Carza?
Porsche.
Okay. Old or new?
Relatively new. I'm not a big fan of the older ones, but I do like the newer models. Are very nice.
Yeah,
I would
it's-
do a
it's a-
Porsche.
it's a whole-
Porsches are an everyday driver. We had a client. He drove it every day, whether it was spring or summer, and he also winter. He used it. We raced it up in Lime Rock, and we'd swap out his seats and we'd put his harness on, his 3-point harness, and he would go
You'd
and
race it.
And he'd race it in Lime Rock, and we'd swap his tires out, and he'd drive it home, and we'd, yeah.
And I know the racers, and you can probably comment on this, but the racers all have a set of books and a checkbook,
Yes, they
et
do.
cetera. Maybe you could maybe you have a little story on that.
I don't. I don't have a car. I don't have a car client.
I learned that accidentally, previous to being in the commercial real estate business, which I've been in 41 years, so we're going back to 50 years ago. We were in the car business with my brothers, Executive Auto, and we had tow trucks and a flatbed. And my friends from Chassis Dynamics, they used to be behind the mall out here, and eventually they went to Oxford, but they raced a NASCAR modified.
Nice.
And they would, every now and then, they'd go to about 6 different tracks, and they went to Oswego, way up in New York, and on the way home, the truck broke down. So they called me, and I zipped right out there with the flatbed and got him. And about 3 days later, Bobby V, who's passed away now, the driver of the car, says, "Come get your check." And it said Chassis Dynamics Racing Account. And when they gave me the check, so I said, "Oh wow, they keep a whole separate set of books for the." So
Yep.
how would that work out? Do you think, or what's the
The same
component
as
of that?
a business. It's probably listed as, it might be an LLC, it might be, but they've got a separate account for
They
it.
have sponsorships,
Yep.
and they have to track.
Yep, exactly. So
Like it's
it would be a whole set of books by itself.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people's names were on the car,
Yep.
and they had winnings from the
Yep.
racetracks and that sort of thing. John, you made 28 questions for this interview, so have at it.
All right, let me ask you this, Beth.
Yes, dear.
When you have a small business and they're just getting started, why would they need a bookkeeper, or what are the big advantages of having a bookkeeper?
Because when a small business gets their idea, whatever it might be, they're really good at that idea, and they might not be good at the books and opening their bank account. They're going to open their bank account, but then making a list of all the things that goes into making that widget. That my word. And I haven't used it in a while. And and they're really good at that, and they keep saying, "Okay, you know what? I'll get to the checking account next month. I'll reconcile it next month." And it just keeps going. But they're making money. But then they come back to being that restaurant who has they have no picture. They don't know if they're making
It
money.
becomes a big problem.
Oh yeah, I have a couple clients that they for one reason or another they weren't able to do any of their books for like an entire year, and they're like, "Can you?" Sure.
And that's got to be a big expense when you got to come in from into a mess
It
So
can
do you
be.
as a business person have to make sure they have enough money to pay you when they...
I just keep my fingers crossed.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She's very kind-hearted.
I
in
am
that
very.
respect.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I've turned the corner. I'm asking for retainer fees every day
Every
now.
day, yeah.
Because the business, yours is too. It's complicated, all this paperwork. I'm sure it's complicated to fix people's books that haven't done them for a year.
For a year,
Just
yeah.
like I come in and do a piece of real estate, and
Sure.
there's all these problems.
Yep. And it can be. There can be. There can
And
definitely
I'm
be.
beyond crossing my fingers because I've been burned. So I'll say to people, I'm sorry.
I've-
The people who haven't paid me ruined it for everybody.
I have one client who has not paid me, and it's not a big sum of money by any means.
John has a
he's
black
still-
belt in collections.
I might call you. It's not a big dollar amount. Now it's principal. Like, you asked me to do all of this work, and it was without using QuickBooks because there was no QuickBooks.
Oh, right,
So this was all manual that I was doing it.
And what was your conversion from manual to learn how to do QuickBooks? I know he's supposed to be asking the questions. I'm
No,
sorry.
that's all right. Go ahead.
Wait a minute,
Sure,
what-
sure.
What,
What do
what
you-
was you always did them by hand, and then you
Oh, no,
learned
no, no. I
Quick-
always did QuickBooks.
Well, yeah, but you said somebody taught you. What was the ramp up to learn it? And so
I
you
said-
never did books by hand? You've
No.
always, wow.
No, never did them by
All right, so
hand.
tell the
I
audience
can,
who don't
I
know
can
what
balance a checkbook is.
Right, of
but
course.
I can,
Well, you
but
could-
I've never done a company by hand.
What was your learning curve to learn QuickBooks? And probably a while ago, as you were saying.
2005.
Okay.
And I said 20 years. And if you ask my teacher, it didn't take long. It was there, like you said, it's kind of inherent. I think my mother's there with me, and it was I just picked it up. It made sense.
It is a renowned product, and people rave about it. I think my sister is an accountant. She's a enrolled agent.
Okay.
And she got certified in QuickBooks. So is that something you've pursued, and what does
Yes.
it take?
There's testing. There's you go through classes. Intuit will do the classes, and you run through your tests, and it takes a long time. It's not something you can do
Oh,
in a
I'll
week.
bet.
Yeah, I mean it's hours of work, but once you have it, it's good. And now QuickBooks Online is the big thing now. Everybody, because you can sign into it, and I can sign into it at the same time, and you can print out, do your invoicing, and I can be over here doing your checking account. So it's much more versatile for the clients. And I'm sure there's some customers out there still, they have the desktop version.
So, John, if a borrower is coming to you when they have QuickBooks, is that easier for you to get a handle on their finances?
It is, because it's structured a lot better. Because, like she was saying earlier, a lot of people don't have their books in order, and they really don't know where the expenses are, where the income is, how
Right.
it's matched up,
Right.
and it's really a mess. And in many cases, I've had people had to go to a bookkeeper and say, "Look, here's what they have. Put it together the best you can,
Right.
and then make some financial statements so that we could turn it in so that they can get a loan." And it's a lot of work and a lot of big
right,
mess.
and
I
it
would
goes
say.
back to they've got a great idea, or they've got a great product, or a great restaurant, but everybody knows it. But the bank wants to see that backside of it. They want to see the money side of it.
Which we've talked about
Or
that on this
finance company.
program many times. Banks loan money to people that they know will pay them back, so you have to prove
Right,
it. And
right.
maybe John and Beth, you guys can both take a shot at explaining a financial statement to people who out there don't know what they are but might want to learn about them if they want to start a business, etc.
I would say what a financial statement
Yeah.
is a snapshot in time of where your business is financially.
Mm-hmm.
Your balance sheet shows you most of your assets, your liabilities, and your expenses. Your income statement is showing where the money's going out and what money's coming in.
Yep.
Your profit and loss is showing whether you're making money or losing money.
losing money,
All
right.
those are very vital. And from lending, they always want to see that you're profitable each and every month. Now, in some cases in a business, you may not be profitable each month. Sometimes there are bad months. It
Yeah.
can't happen. Income drops, expenses rise. That's the nature of the beast. But they're looking at your financial strength so you can recover from it and keep your bills paid and keep your business as an ongoing event.
Beth, is he on target?
Oh, definitely, 100% on target. He
And
said it
those
better
are-
than I could.
Yeah, but you know how to put them all together and hand them over to him if he's going to the bank or
Correct.
to your customer,
Correct.
client.
Right, right.
And how many hours a week would you say that it takes to do bookkeeping for a business that maybe does $1 million a year, which isn't a lot?
It's not.
All right, so tell us what
it
is it.
It would. I think it would depend on how busy that the accounts are, whether they have a lot of line items each month or each week. I mean, depending on the business, you could look at it weekly. My restaurant, we might go to looking at it bi-weekly,
Okay.
where I'm going to get them to a point in the month where I'll grab 2 weeks of the month, then I'll grab the rest, so she can see where money is going out for groceries, where it's for supplies. But then you have another client, and I have a couple clients who, I have one client, we don't talk about bookkeeping with him. It's all operations. I help him with his business.
Okay, so give us a little bit, that particular customer, without giving their name, what is your couple of meetings on operations consist of?
There is, it could be HR, it could be, we have a problem employee at the moment.
Human resources. Let's not
Yep.
use acronyms because we got rookies
Oh, yeah.
looking.
Rookies listening?
Anybody wants to
Okay.
call in, 203-753-7593. We're entertaining you, but more important, we're trying to teach you something. 203-753-7593. Any kinds of calls. We'd like you to be somewhat on topic. All right, so your meeting, how long does it take, and what are you talking about pertaining to operations?
We, it could be payroll, it could be a client, not a client, an employee who is out on medical leave, came back too early. We need to decide, do we keep them here, or do we tell her, we'd rather you 100%, not just because you needed to come out because of money reasons. So we're trying to work with the employee that way.
So you're a consultant also, and you
Yeah.
dabble in human resources, all the books and records, the employees. John, anything you want to add to this?
Yeah, I know a lot of bookkeepers strictly specialize in payroll. Mm-hmm. And because
I
I
have
think
a friend,
that's
yep.
yeah, because I think that's a big headache for a lot of people.
is.
Because you
Yep.
you got your Social Security tax, you got
Yep.
your federal income tax, and
You've got vacation, you have sick time, anything that gets monitored or kept track of.
Yeah.
Where okay, they took 4 hours off here, they took they took a week here, and it could be accumulated for every pay period. They get 0.75 hour of sick time or vacation. So it is a big, depending on the size of the company, it can definitely be. I have a friend who, she has over 300 people, and she literally just does payroll.
yeah, I've heard of that happening
Yeah.
because it's complicated.
It's
Yeah.
complicated. It's not easy.
You're looking behind the curtain, folks,
Yeah.
with Tom Hill Live. John Frasco, financial consultant, but really a private money lender.
Mm-hmm.
Beth Lane, our guest, he bragged and said she's a bookkeeper, but we're finding out that she does operations and she advises, and we'd love to hear from you. 203-753-7593. John, you got a million questions, so take over again.
Yeah, just for the public and the viewers here, can you tell the difference between what a bookkeeper is, a accountant, and a CPA?
Bookkeeper is going to take care of your daily activities, your invoicing, your expenses, probably inputting payroll into your QuickBooks so it's there. The accountant and your CPAs are going to do your tax returns, your financial planning, or financial, what's that word I want? Not assisting, but guiding you on what you do with your business. So they won't get into the nitty-gritty. Bookkeepers will get you ready to hand over to the tax account.
So you're actually carrying more of the burden for the accounting process.
Yes,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yep.
Little bit.
Daily. And then
Little bit.
just expand, and then they have accountants, and then others have either CPA or enrolled agent with the IRS. Could you describe those a bit too? Because I'm sure you interact with those people.
I do. I have a few. CPAs and accountants are basically, I don't want to say they're the same thing. You're a certified public accountant and an accountant, and I work with both. I have
Yep.
a few. An enrolled agent, that one I don't know about.
Okay.
I've
It's people that
not
do
worked-
taxes that won't take the time and effort to get the CPA pin. And it's a lower level, but it's above.
But they can still okay.
Yeah, it gives them a shot to practice with the IRS more often. It still takes, I think, 3 or 4 tests, and it's an
bet.
effort.
Yeah.
It's an effort. John?
Go ahead.
The finger's in the air, and it's not the middle finger.
Thank
No,
God.
what I was saying is an accountant goes through and he's basically educated. He went to college and he
Correct.
graduated with a degree in accountancy. That doesn't mean he's a CPA because the CPA is another designation. You got to take
level
another
up.
series of
Correct.
testing. And I
And-
think there's
and you
it's
do-
like more than one, and it takes some time, and then
Right.
you get a higher designation.
And I've worked with both. Some one that I worked with difficult, but their accountants are, you can either, I don't know, numbers people are
Smart.
yeah, they're smart, but there's, I don't know, I don't fit the bill.
You don't fit the bill?
I don't fit the bill because they can be boring.
Boring.
A lot of people say that about
Stuff,
accountants.
like stuffy, not
yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
Well, I
Right.
think you have to be the kind of person that can be a bookworm and stay
Right,
and work on
right.
numbers. In real estate, we have analysts that'll work all the numbers on the properties.
Mm-hmm.
We know, many of us know how to do it, but we're better off going out and finding the business, finding the properties. And we have in many of our companies analysts who can do this stuff with the computer and figure out all the cash flow
Right.
and operations.
Yep, yep.
Et cetera. So everybody is, I like to knock on doors and cold call. Other people hate to do it, but we all have our role.
Right.
I'm looking for Justin Golden stuff if he doesn't call in. Carry on, announcer.
Okay, I was just from your own perspective, how often should a business check its financial statements and verify
And their books
expenses
and stuff?
and their income?
At least monthly. They should at least look at it, whether it's the beginning of the month because you're looking at the month before or the end of the month to see where you're at for that month. And are your expenses in line with what you thought, or did you go overboard in buying that part for that widget, but that widget's not selling? So
Excellent.
you really should be looking at it, or having somebody say, why did you buy so many of those widgets? Because they're still sitting there in your inventory.
Are you going back to operations, though, when you start asking those questions?
Yeah,
This is really fun. I know we're liking this, everybody.
Because of the time in operations, it migrates into what I do with my clients. Some of my clients, it's strictly bookkeeping. We talk a couple times a year,
Yep.
we email a lot, and then there's clients that I'm on the phone with all the time, every day, or
they're
every other
over-attentive.
day. Right, and we're talking about everything.
Tom Hill Live at Brass City TV.
Tom, it's Justin Golden.
How'd you get this number?
Well, it's on the television screen.
All right, well,
Good job.
we were wondering where you were because it's 7:27 and you were booked for 7:10, so you're going to get a $20 fine here, just like Rotary.
Oh, all right. I didn't get it.
Got it. I dialed in at 7:10, and again, I didn't realize I needed to dial in a number. I just thought that you guys would say, "Hey, it's Justin." I apologize. I'm not the most technological person.
Well, you're in the computer security. What are you talking? Oh my God!
I knew
All
I
right,
was
so
going that way.
I just pulled up the ad because we didn't know if you were going to be a no-show, and you have a beautiful ad featuring Tom Schutz. So take a minute to tell the TV audience about your big exchange club. And Justin's a great guy, and I'm only kidding with him.
Thanks, Tom.
Television screen. Well, we were wondering where you were. Because it's 7:27, you were booked for 7:10, so you're going to get a $20 fine here, just like the Rotary.
Got it. I dialed in at 7:10, and again, I didn't realize I needed to dial in a number. I just thought that you guys would say, "Hey, Justin." I apologize.
Okay, in the booth, we've got some technical with the phone.
You're in security. What the fuck? I just pulled up the ad because we didn't know if you were going to be a no-show. And you have a beautiful ad featuring Tom Schutz. So take a minute to tell the TV audience about your big exchange club. And Justin's a great guy, and I'm only kidding with him.
Tom, thanks. The Exchange Club is America's service organization.
Where you were, if it's 7:27, you're booked for 7:10.
Oh, God.
You're going to get a fine.
Justin, hold on one second. In the booth, guys, can you square that up?
He needs to turn down the volume on his TV.
Okay, you have your TV running there, Justin, in the background?
I turned off the sound on my computer.
Okay, all right, well, while we got you, go ahead.
Okay. So the Exchange Club is America's services organization. We were founded in 1911, and the Waterbury Exchange Club is in its 78th year, and we focus on 5 areas: prevention of child abuse, Americanism, community service, and youth programs. And this Tom Schutz event is at La Bella Vista on April 23rd. and it's to raise funds for our programming here. We provide scholarships. We do. Right now, we're collecting for a food drive for families in need and veterans. Active duty service people around the world. We provide food and health items for them. So Tom Shute is going to be our MC at this event. It's, I think, our 27th year of this event, and Tom, as you know, is an MC and beloved in the greater Waterbury area. And at that evening, we'll have beer and wine tasting. We'll have Foch's chocolates there to purchase. We'll have raffle items, some great raffle items, baseball tickets, and all other sorts of things that will be of great interest. And then you can do wine and beer tasting and intermingle with folks in the greater Waterbury community. It's usually very well attended, and as you know, the food is excellent at La Bella Vista.
And what are the hours, and who do people call to get the invite?
Sure, good. So the hours are 5:30 to 9 p.m. And if they want, they can go to our website, which is www.waterburyexchangeclub.org, or they can email us at waterburyexchange203@gmail.com. And we meet monthly at Montero's Restaurant on Fairfield Avenue. So if they wanted to come by and have lunch with us and find out what we do in our club and meet the members, it'd be a great way for them to do that at no charge. They can hit our website for that information or email us, and we'll get right back to them and invite them and see what they think.
Okay, and if anybody else, let's say, I think you have the Shaker family giving you a sponsorship, Shaker, Ford, and Lincoln Mercury, nice bunch of civic-minded people.
Absolutely, yes. We have various varieties of sponsorships, but they are the premier sponsor of this, and they've done that for many years, and they are very, as you know, supportive of the Greater Waterbury Community and Community Service Organization.
You know, I think they ought to throw in an old Ford Pinto for a prize.
From your lips to God's ears, yes.
All right, Mr. Don Merrill, thank you, and you're also a great Rotary Fellow. What do you, or why do you spend your time in these civic organizations? Because I know you're good at it.
I like to give back to the community. I've been in business for 29 years, and I decided about 6-7 years ago, after I became a chamber member, of which the Exchange Club is a member of the Waterbury Chamber of Commerce, to give back. And I started out with Literacy Volunteers of Greater Waterbury that teaches adult literacy, and then I got introduced to the Exchange Club and have been a member for probably 12 years now, and it's just, they do great things in the local community.
Love it. And last but not least, just give us 20 seconds on your business, because I know it's kind of appropriate for today's world.
Yeah, Tom, thank you. It's Golden Technology Services, Inc., and I provide cybersecurity education and testing. And as you know, at this time of year with tax season underway, there's a lot of bad actors out there, both locally and halfway across the world, and they want to steal your information, your financial information, your identity. So just be very careful online. If someone wants to hit my website, they can get more information, and I can try to assist them.
Okay, I got one more thing. Tom Shute taught me this when I would host Talk of the Town. I'm sorry, caller, your time is up.
Okay. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Thanks, Justin. Thank you.
John and Heather. Bye now.
Thank you. Johnny, that was very nice of you to set that up.
Thank
Speaking
you.
about security with your bookkeeper people, Beth and John, about people getting their accounts stolen, etc. I'm sure you both do run into this from time to time.
I haven't yet. We're good.
None of your customers have called you and said, I got trouble. Wow.
Nope.
Wow. Lucky
It's
the
been
Irish.
good. I am Irish, so
I know.
that's
It's
good.
St. Patty's Day.
I know, it's good. Have you?
Actually, when we send financial information,
Yeah.
it's got special access. It's confidential. That goes through a special web
So you-
location, so it doesn't. They can't. It's encrypted, so they
Right.
can't. Intercept the information, and because a lot of it's important information, your financial information, your social security, your business
right.
number. I mean, you don't want that stuff to go out. So
Yeah.
the lenders do have safeguards implemented so that when you send it through that channel, there's nobody that can get access to it.
All right, so if anybody out there has a question on these subjects, 203-753-7593, 203-753-7593, and I forgot about that. You got to turn your TV down so we don't hear you in the background. So we apologize to the listeners, and I apologize to the guys in the booth going, oh, something's wrong. Tom Hill Live, John Frasco, our announcer and co-host and host when I'm not here, Beth Lane, Naugatuck. What's the name of your bookkeeping outfit?
Booked and Balanced.
Books. Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Fitting.
Thank you.
Okay, John, you had a lot of questions, so back to you, dude.
Yeah, I noticed. I just want to give a quick story. I know Tom loves my stories, and then I want
I do
to
too.
address the question.
I do too.
I had. We were working with a client once, and he was discussing that this product was his highest paid, most profitable product.
Okay.
When we ran the numbers and looked at the expenses, it was actually he was selling it at a loss. So I said to him, I don't think this is your profitable product because you're actually selling it for a loss, and showed him the information, which he was amazed. And this is something that I've seen a lot is people really don't understand where they're making money, how much money
Yep.
they're making on these products, and where
Yep.
they're losing.
Yep.
So my question to you is, what is the most important information in bookkeeping do you think the business owner should always check?
They should always be looking at their P&L.
Always the P&L.
The P&L, because that's where it's going to break out the expenses. Like for that client, it would be he's probably got an inventory going, so it's how many of these does he buy, how many of those does he buy, and then it's going to equate into these three pieces make this, but this adds up to this, and I'm only selling it. Oh, that's not good.
Oh, I got another one for you
So
now.
there's allocation to the expenses to the right product,
right,
et cetera. Go ahead,
right.
John.
Yep.
They were making a ring, and
Okay.
within this ring, they'd cut it up and make 10 pieces.
Okay.
And the final unit, they would say add 10. I said, no, it's 1. This is a special part that goes in the ring with the other 9. So it was 9 of one type and one of this special type.
Okay.
And then when you make the ring, when you're manufacturing, it comes out to 10 pieces and not just one for one.
Told you
one
he knew
unit.
math, everybody.
does know
So
math.
it was,
math.
He does know math.
it's
Yeah.
funny how, the way accounting views something and the way,
Right,
say
the business
manufacturing
owner, right.
or a business owner may
will
look at it.
Sure.
And a
'cause-
lot of them are not the same.
No.
And again, it's
no.
the P&L is the profit and loss. Those are the most important
That one, yeah.
here, and important words in your business, profit and loss. And I know myself, I know what I need. Just as a commissioned salesman in a little small commercial real estate boutique with my wife and I know what my overhead and what I need to make my overhead, what I need to make my pay, what I need for taxes, and what I need to save. So I have that number I need every month, and every time I learned this a little later in the business because we all get lucky here and there, but eventually you got to get to the point as you know what your total need is
Right.
each month, and then you can work towards what business am I getting and what business should I work on to achieve that monthly need that includes taxes, overhead, your
Right.
pay,
Yep.
and savings.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything
right.
has to be allocated for. I've seen
Yeah.
a lot of businesses, they don't do that, and they're just living day to day.
Right.
And if some bad event were to happen, I heard of a restaurant in Glastonbury, they said if we don't have a good weekend, we're out of business. And they're
see,
running
that's-
it that tight.
Yeah.
Well,
and
all this
that's-
talk with the TSA being out, with the Democrats not agreeing with the Republicans and shutting down, government functions like TSA. A lot of these people, they were saying, they live paycheck to paycheck, and they can't afford not to be paid. Some of them are quitting. Some of them are getting other jobs. Some are showing up anyway. It's a very
Right.
tough situation.
Yeah, that's a no-win situation for anybody. I mean, you still got bills to pay. You got to pay for your
Correct.
mortgage, your rent,
Yep.
your food. Nobody's going to pay it for you. So
I'm not bringing that up to talk politics. I'm bringing it up to go back to what you said, John. If the restaurant doesn't have a good weekend this weekend, we're out of business.
We're out of business.
That's
That's-
walking on the plank.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the
That's
very edge of the plank.
very
So
edge.
getting to that, back to you, Beth, that's operations. So I think there's talk about how to operate so that
Right.
you're not walking the plank,
Right,
correct?
exactly. You need to know what your costs are, what your expenses are, and what your income is going to be as far as when you make these sales. They need to work. That needs to work together, and those sales have to come in. And you've got that's somebody not looking at his numbers. He thinks he's doing a good job.
Yeah, but you know what I think? I'm not just
No,
cut you
you're
off.
fine.
This is something else I've seen. Somebody that's in charge or a manager, nobody ever tells them the truth. How's things
Correct.
going? Oh, that's fine, no problem.
Correct.
Yeah, of
Yep,
course.
Everything's
You know?
good. Everything's good. The wheel is moving, and this little thing is happening, and yeah, everything's fine. But then someone like you will come in and say, well, you're losing money every time you sell this thing, dude, because it's not that equation for all these pieces, and maybe shipping to the client, to the outreach is not making, you're losing. Like, you're paying somebody to
But
take care.
here's the problem. He's only coming in when they need a loan. The good thing about people hiring you is you're there either every week, every other week, or once a month. And also, if they're willing and ding, 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 they'll also hire you for operations to have another set of eyes on everything.
That, yeah. And I think it helps to not just numbers. That is my background. Is I've been in so many different genres. I ran a dental company where the main office was in Milan, Italy, and I was the corporate office in the States, and I worked for a contractor for FedEx with 135 employees. Did payroll and how to keep that running. So I've seen all different kinds, but at the end of the day and the end of the week, you still have to have your numbers. You still have to have income coming in, and you want to make money. That's the goal. You don't want to be in a negative number.
Here we are. We're teaching you. This is Tom Hill Live. John Frasco, excellent
we're
smart
teaching.
loan broker. Beth Lane,
He forgot my name.
booked and balanced. I had another joke and I didn't, and now you jump on me like
threw
a
him off his
shark.
rhythm.
All those jobs, you jumped around a lot. Huh?
I did.
Oh
I
my
did
God.
jump around a lot.
203-753-7593. More questions, John.
Yeah, okay, since we're on this thing where people don't seem to understand, where their expenses and their profits are, is there any time that you have dealt with a client and then you have surprised them what you found in the bookkeeping?
Have I surprised them with something I found? Not that I can remember. I know I've been able to save them a little money with their QuickBook subscription price, in where they were potentially maybe sold this package, and why are you paying? Why do you have all that? Do you use? No. Okay, we're going to downgrade you, and save them money. I don't know if I have pointed something out, they haven't come back and said, "Hey, thanks."
Who would admit it?
Right.
Right?
Like, thanks for showing that to me. Yeah, I haven't had anybody tell me that.
Well, I'm really surprised because I find a lot of business owners don't know exactly where the profit is coming in, where the expenses are being applied, and the magnitude of it. Because sometimes when I've talked to them, I said, well, if you look at the ratio here, you're higher than the industry standard. And then they just look at me, what?
What?
I said,
Yeah.
you're like 2 times what the industry standard is.
Yeah.
Something's not right there.
Well, they're busy running their business, and you
Right.
have a special.
And that's exactly it.
said that earlier,
They're really good at that, running that business or making that widget or making a hamburger for whatever. They're really good at that, and they've got their wife or their girlfriend doing the books, and she doesn't really want to do the wife. I shouldn't say he or she.
So true.
They don't want to do it.
Yep.
They don't, and then it starts getting pushed over there, and we'll get to it next week. The reconciliation, it's not bad. And then 6 months go by, and your P&L and your balance sheet are an absolute nightmare.
To the audience, your buddy and host when I'm not here, and thank you for the last 2 weeks, John. He's doing you all a big favor by bringing Beth Lane, I know your name, balanced and booked, or booked and balanced.
Booked
Book
and
him, Dano. We're doing you a favor here, and it's our pleasure as a public
Yes.
service to talk about numbers. And even if you work for somebody else, if the company's making all kinds of mistakes, you're not going to have a paycheck. So that comes to how often should a business owner actually look at their financial numbers?
Monthly.
At least, right?
At least monthly, if not biweekly. They should look at payroll, your payroll amounts coming in and out, your expenses every month. It should not even be.
Yeah, my wife and I, we work our deals pending list, which is business in play, that we're trying to get to the end so we can get paid. All the referrals we handed out, we meet at least once a week.
Yeah.
Forecasting what's going to close, what's coming in, and to myself, just walking around every week, meeting people, going to meetings and conferences, I'm always saying, boy, who could use my advice this week so that I can make a week's pay? Because my deal is if we take a listing on $1 million building, $2,500,000, whatever it might be, it could take a year till we get our payday from it. and it's a long matriculation period. Is that the right word?
I like it.
So it takes time.
Yeah.
So I think you're saying once a month, and I'm saying we look at it every week.
Right.
And if you're in your own business, to John's point, they don't know what they're making. You should be a consultant too, John.
Yeah, I think you're right. I should be.
Yeah.
We should get together and be a
should
consulting.
We should.
Well, maybe you could dance on the show too if you're going to get together.
Oh.
Do the tango.
The
And did you
tango.
two know that if you
Uh-oh.
learn to do the tango, you won't get dementia? Honest Injun.
How's
Where
the
did
correlation
that come?
with that one?
all right,
Because you got to do all these. Yeah, it really wasn't a tango.
But it was close.
Yeah,
I
oh,
like
thank
it.
you.
I like that. Without music,
Yeah,
that was good.
so it's just and
Really?
And one of
If
my
you
real
learn
estate
how to
buddies,
do
we
the
went to
tango.
the Boston SIOR regional conference in a hockey stadium. I'll tell you that more later. But he's showing me two fingers that his son taught him that you won't get dementia either. Didn't. One finger on two, get the other two fingers out and tap like a drummer. Bing,
Mm-hmm.
bing, 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 bing. But it's hand and
Hand and
eye coordination. When I was sick in 2016 to 17, the Naugatuck YMCA, I went to, I was medical prescription to go to a course there. And they were talking about teaching you all these tap here,
Yep.
and putting yourself in all these odd positions quickly, because apparently it's really good for your brain. And I think it also, now that I think about it, I think it got our minds off being sick.
Oh yeah,
and pushed you
sure.
up.
Yeah.
And I'll think of the name of the course in a little while. It's really good. At this age, I get so much on my mind, I forget things. You guys are sharp at every minute?
No. I like sticky notes.
Oh, great tool. See,
I love
that's
sticky
a tool.
notes.
I use sticky
I love
notes all
sticky
the time.
notes.
I write everything down. It's
All right,
easier
I got
that
two
way.
in my. Do you guys use do you use a computer for your schedule or do you use a date timer paper?
Oh, my day timer is this big. It's big.
Okay, this comes around. Here's two.
Yep.
See these yellow sticky notes?
There you go.
Folks. See the
Sticky
little yellow
notes.
sticky notes?
3M. You gotta love them.
Here's one, me. This is from the Bible, too. Quick to listen, slow to speak, and slower to anger. And that's from the Bible, chapter James 1 and chapter 1 and 1:19. And the other one is from a book I read that I'm reading again called The Sequence on selling commercial real estate. The yellow stickies, that's the point.
Yellow stickies.
For me and people like me, our job is to make deals, not kill them.
That's
You
a
know,
good
people
one.
get you mad,
Oh,
or
yeah.
they'll do something stupid, or they
Oh,
don't
yeah.
understand. But our job is to make the deal with people if we can.
Yep.
And I mean, we're ethically bound as well. We don't want to put anybody into something they shouldn't be in.
Right. Right.
Not into that, but still.
Yeah, and I notice sometimes when you give people advice, a lot of times they're reluctant to take it. But if you think about it, if you're in one particular discipline, you probably see a lot more than the average
You do.
person. Well, yeah. So I mean, if you're giving them advice, you see it from experience and practice. So
right.
it's probably
not just
beneficial. It's
'cause
not
I
just
like to hear
well,
myself talk.
Yeah, it's a good idea. if
Does
you do
anyone
this.
know the trick, the answer to that out there? 203-753-7593. Do you know the answer to his problem, how to fix it?
No.
You're supposed to set it up in a way that they think it's their idea.
Oh.
It's magic. I'm to the
magic.
point now that nobody wants, I have a lot of people in my career that they want my information for free. And
Well, everybody wants everything for free. That's
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
new.
That's what, remember we had Chris Davis on. That's right. And I said, oh boy, Chris Davis. And you can see his appearances on the Brass City TV YouTube channel. I said, wow. And he's a Grammy nominated, loads of albums, toured the whole world with Brian McKnight. That was his big break. And I said to him, boy, at your level, you must not have any trouble getting paid. Sound like John. He goes, Tom Hill, nobody wants to pay. So, we all have to try to find the
Yep.
value that
Yep.
we're offering and present it in such a way that people think it's their ideas or they're willing to accept it,
accept it,
John.
yes.
And we all practice this.
Well, that's one thing I notice is people don't have the right concept of money. They don't understand how money grows. They have I don't know, it's a misconception that I think it is passed down generation to generation.
I do.
Because I remember when I was a kid, my grandfather said to me, put all 90% of your money in the bank and you'll be a millionaire. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if I'm giving the bank all my money, what are they doing with it? That would probably be a better idea than
But
what you're
most
giving
people
me.
would never think of that, John.
But I think it's a factor of courage, because if you put your money to work for you, there's a chance that you may lose a little. So it's a little bit riskier. And as you said, people don't like risk, but I think risk is part of life. there's an element of risk that you're going to deal with, even if you think you're being risk-free. There's no such thing. There's always risk.
Yeah, there's always risk.
And how do you calculate risk, and do you do anything to get better at analyzing
I-
risk, since you're doing so many people's books and working on
How do I
operations?
calculate risk? Oh, that's a good question, Tom. I don't know if I calculate it. I think
It might be innate. Some people just,
yeah.
you're saying you better check your money every month, and that's a way for them to avoid risk.
Well, yeah, that would definitely, but you've got to have the right people looking at it too.
Let's switch the question around.
Is that your finger or the pen?
Well, a little both.
A little of both.
This guy he makes me laugh.
Let me ask you this. What would be, if you're doing the books, what is the first indication that a business is going out of financial control? I mean, where would you look? How could you tell? Like, all right, now they're on that slope of trouble.
A lot of missed reconciliations if they're behind in their books.
Would that be on the
That would
checkbook,
be
or-
yeah,
Okay,
basically.
yep.
If they're behind in paying bills.
Oh, yeah, that's real bad if you're behind in bills.
Yep, if you're behind with maybe making the payment on the building that you're in for your business if you don't own it. If you're behind in paying your bills, I don't want to say bank accounts in a low, because it could fluctuate, but that you'd be able to see a disorganization on the P&L when they're not reconciling, when the numbers are really off. Because the first thing I do is I'll compare this year to last year. If I took them, and this is the first time I'm looking at books, I didn't have them last year. I'm going to go, but I know they filed taxes, so somebody did their books. I'm going to compare what that looks like. And if there's a big difference, but the sales numbers look the same, something's going on.
She reminds me of a NASCAR driver. She's got
I'd
her
go
thing
there.
down, and she's this, let's do this, and they go like this.
Yes, they do.
I like what you're doing, and maybe the answer should be if you should have her come in, Beth Lane, Balanced and booked, for a paid consulting, and then maybe you want to have her come every month, because if it gets ahead of you,
Then
recovery is brutal.
it is, it can
9
be.
minutes to go. Last chance for a phone call, 203-753-7593.
It can definitely be brutal.
John, before we go away, would you thank our underwriters? Then I'll give Justin Golden another announcement.
All right, I'd like to thank Ives Bank, Naugatuck Copy, Tom Hill Realty and Investment, Fidelity Finance Solutions, and Strike Zone Studios.
Okay, you're going to read those next time. Ives Bank has 3 branches in Greater Waterbury.
Oh, geez.
They have about 18 in total. John Frasco is Fidelity Financial. He's a great private money lender, but he can guide you if you're out looking for money, you should call him. He knows where to get it. Strike Zone Studios is one of my businesses, and we have a dozen podcasts done. You can see them at TomHillRadio.com. And for your kids and this exact subject, there's 2 with John about how to borrow money, amortization schedules, paying on time. Do interest rates really matter in the loan and the rate? So if you want to go back, they're there, and we'd love to see you there. And Justin Golden called in, and Tom Shute is coming back from Florida. He's WATR's morning man, actor at Seven Angels Theater and the Palace Theater to be the MCs. I learned how to MC from him. Their deal is April 23rd, 5:30, La Bella Vista. You can call Don Merrill, 203-721-0742, or just Google the Waterbury Exchange Club or Justin Golden. So we thank him for calling in. This is a wine tasting. My friend Ginny O'Rourke has been president of the she's president of O'Rourke and Rourke Florist on number 1 Chase Ave, but she's also in the Exchange Club and been the president a lot of times. As a matter of fact, I think Barbara Davitt, the late great Barbara Davitt, was the first female president of Exchange Club in Waterbury ever.
Really?
She was a groundbreaker. So that's that. John, now that we maybe have only 5 minutes left, why don't you look through your 27 questions and see if there's anything important that you missed from Beth Lane, which is booked and balance.
I got this question. I think is going to be beneficial. If somebody were to start a business, and maybe at the beginning they don't have enough money to afford a bookkeeper, what suggestion would you give them? What software should they get? And is there any tips or tricks that you could give them that would benefit them just starting out?
Okay, so QuickBooks Online is probably the easiest to learn, and QuickBooks also makes it easy to make corrections. I have also worked with Wave, which is you can actually get a free version of Wave. And it's not bad for a small business to starting out, but they need to be organized. They need to keep an eye on their bank statements, what they're paying. Even if you put it in a file until you're ready to get somebody, or you hire somebody to do the books, you need to be organized, because if you just make your widget and you got to worry about the back half of the house too.
And a widget is a manufactured product. It could be the screws that are going into one of your TVs, or a piece for your
just a
clicker.
Whatever it might be.
Widgets are manufactured products.
Well, I think what you're saying is they should keep their receipts too, so that you
receipts,
can backtrack.
Yeah.
Because I notice a lot
For
of people
any of
just
your
take
expenses,
They keep them together. They should have them separated month to month,
Month to
because it
month.
makes it easier to
Yep.
reconcile after the fact.
After the fact.
If you have them and they're sorted that way.
Because
Otherwise,
you'll
it'll take
get
you forever.
You could get your bank statement and look at it and go, I have no idea what that is. But if you have your receipts, you can match the dollar amount and then figure out what might be there.
Very good lesson today. You're not going to be successful in business if you don't take really good care of your books and
books.
records and your
Yeah.
operations. And
Yep.
thank you for introducing us to
You're
that.
welcome.
A couple
Thank
more
you.
announcements, and I'm going to give you all a shot. Let's see. I'll be emceeing at the Palace Theater for the Waterbury School System music show. And if your kids are music students in the Waterbury system, you ought to talk to your music teachers. That's going to be at the Palace Theater on April 1st. Wednesday, I'm the announcer, and also I'm doing the St. Vincent de Paul Mission's giant award dinner at the Ponte Club, which we mentioned a little while ago, and that's Thursday night the 16th. You can call Edwin or anybody at St. Vincent de Paul Society Mission, really, and we'll take care of that for you. And that'll be. I did it last year, and they're calling me back. Shocking. Okay, 10 seconds. Goodbye, each one of you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you very much. This has been lovely.
And we'll post on who we have next week. John's got this thing. Laban, Eddie Seville, we got Mario DeMichael. We got all kinds of people coming up in the next few weeks. So please stay with us every Thursday. Thanks. Hills Gallery out.